Hi BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my April 2020 wrap-up and stats. So again, I think I mentioned it in a previous vlog. Sorry about the incredibly boring background. We have just moved, sort of. We're kind of halfway there. We still have things at the old apartment that we're slowly moving over here, but it's going to be a few more weeks before I get my bookshelves into the other room. So for now, it is what it is, but that's okay. I'm still going to bring you some great information, and of course I will be putting all the book covers that I talk about up over here. So as I said, my April wrap-up and stats. As I like to do in these videos, I'm going to share with you my statistics, a lot of my statistics from the past month, as well as my top 5 books that I did read in April. So let's jump in and get started. First of all, I read 25 books in April. That is so far my best month. That was my last best month was 23 books. So it's not a huge jump, but it's still pretty good and I'm extremely pleased with it. I am 6 books ahead of schedule. I've read 85 out of the 240 books on my for my Goodreads challenge. So I'm 35% done that challenge and that's pretty super awesome. I read 1 3-star book, 8 3.5-star books, 9 4-star books, 6 4.5-star books, and I did read a single 5-star book. So that's fantastic. For genre of book that I read 8 contemporary romances, 4 historical romances, 4 women's fiction novels, 3 romantic suspense, 2 mystery novels, 1 historical fiction, 1 middle grade fiction, 1 thriller, and 1 YA contemporary. For my Harlequin imprints, I do like keeping track of which imprints I read every month. I read a romantic suspense. I read a special edition, and I also read a Western romance / the old American romance line. So for age range of books that I read 20 books geared towards an adult audience, 1 middle grade, 1 new adult, and 3 YA books. I read 1 book published in the 1930s. That, of course, was the Nancy Drew book that I read. 2 books published in the 1980s. 1 book published in the 1990s. 3 books published in the 2000s. 9 books published between 2010 and 2019. And 9 books published this year in 2020. That was pretty awesome. In terms of format of how I read my books, I read 12 audiobooks, 9 ebooks, 2 trade paperback, and 2 mass market paperback. All 25 of the books that I read this month were full-length novels. 14 of the books were part of a series, while 11 were standalone. That's not horrible. Of the 14 that were part of a series, 10 were part of ongoing series, so that's not too bad. 3 were new series that I started. Not great, but not horrible. And I completed a series, which is super awesome, so yay on that one. That's always a good... I don't think I've seen a completed one in months and months and months. I read a grand total of 7,685 pages, working out to about 256 pages per day. So that's pretty awesome. So challenges and events. I know I talked in a previous video that I was going to share with you guys in my wrap-ups what books I picked for like the Triple RC challenge and other things like that. As you know, this video is going up a little bit late. It's been a little crazy and a little busy, so I'm sorry I didn't get all that done. I didn't really keep track of that as much. I'd have to go back through the links and see exactly. So I promise I will have it for May though. I'm already keeping track of it on my list. So that way for May, it's easy. I just have to plug it into this list that I have here on my Google Docs. So for May, we will have that information, but unfortunately not for April. But I did complete the Triple RC 10 out of 10. That's the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. They do a monthly challenge every month. And this is, I've now completed it for 4 years and 4 months. So that's super exciting. So now into my top 5 books of the month. So we go from least most favorite to most favorite. So coming in at spot number 5 is With This Heart by R.S. Gray. I gave this book 4.5 stars. This was so good. I read it for a challenge. I think it was for the Amazing Race challenge. It's a book I wouldn't have necessarily picked up had it not been for that challenge, just because I was looking for something and it kind of fit the criteria. And I've read R.S. Gray before. I read The Fox and the Hound and I really, really enjoyed it. But this one was about a girl who had a heart transplant and she's now met this guy just by chance and she's taking a road trip. And it's considered to be new adult, but it's While there is some adult content in it, it's not over the top. And it was a really delightful read, and it really spoke to me, and I thought that it was wonderful. It's available as part of the Audible Escape package. If you have it, I highly recommend that you go ahead and read it. You won't be disappointed. It's a very, very sweet story. Next up, coming in fourth place, is Pretty Face by Lucy Parker. This one I also gave 4.5 stars to. This is the second book in the London Celebrity series, and it is about, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now. Oh, how bad am I for that? This one was, oh yes, he is a director in the West End Theatre, and she is an actress, and she very much has that Marilyn Monroe blonde bombshell persona. And the play that he's putting on is a historical about Queen Elizabeth, and he doesn't think that she's fit for the part, but of course, you know, due to family ties, he's kind of being forced to hire her because she's the niece of so-and-so. And of course, a relationship blooms between the two of them. It was absolutely delightful. I thought it was so cute, so sweet. I love the London Celebrity series. I love Lucy Parker's writing. Highly, highly recommend. Coming in at number 3 is The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband by Julia Quinn. This one, oh, I adored this book. I adore Julia Quinn anyway, but what put this one so far up on the list for me was the fact that it is a Regency romance, but it's set in America. I believe it's during the Revolutionary War. And so I don't know if that is the Regency period or not, but it's, you guys know what I'm getting at. It's that type of a Regency novel, but it's set during the American Revolution, and it is in America. And it's about a girl whose brother has gone missing in action during the war, and she heads over to America to find him. And she runs into his best friend, and his best friend is in a, he's been badly hurt, and he's kind of in a coma, kind of an idea. He's unconscious, let's put it that way. So to get in to see him, she lies to his superior officers to tell him that she's in fact his wife. And he doesn't remember marrying her, so he assumes when he wakes up that she's telling the truth. Really, really cute, really sweet, classic Julia Quinn. I loved it. Coming in spot number 4 was The Henna Artist by Alki Joshi. This one also got 4.5 stars. This was a great historical fiction novel set in India in the 1950s after they gained their independence from Great Britain. And it's about a woman who at 15 was put into an arranged marriage, and she ran away from her husband when she was 17 because he was beating her. And she went to a big city, and she started learning how to paint henna, the designs on the hands and feet and other parts of the body. And she learned how to do that, and then she ended up working for wealthier women doing it, and she kind of had a job going with that and doing very well for herself as an independent woman. And then the sister that she didn't know about shows up one night, and the story kind of goes from there. Really great. I enjoyed it. The writing was beautiful. The characters were amazing. It was really nice reading a historical fiction novel that was not set in the UK or the US. Highly delightful read, and I absolutely recommend it. And coming in at the number 1 spot, another historical fiction novel, was The Truths I Never Told You by Kelly Rimmer. This one was my 5-star read of the month. I loved this book so much. It is a dual timeline, so it's not a true historical fiction, but there are historical aspects to the story, and it's a family story. And it's about a woman who has had her first baby, and she's dealing with postpartum depression. And the story goes back and forth between her and her own mother, who clearly was suffering from something similar, and the struggles that the mother faced back in the 50s compared to what the daughter's facing in the 90s. It doesn't necessarily take place in modern day, it takes place in the 90s, but it was so amazing. I don't want to say too much more about it other than you need to read this book. It was, if you are interested in all in family stories, mother-daughter stories, anything at all like that, absolutely recommend it. So anyway, guys, that is all that I have for today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below, have you read any of the books that made my top 5? Or what was your favorite book that you read in April? Because I'd love to know that too. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.